What's going on, man? Welcome back to another episode of that Stay Off My Grass podcast. You got your boy, Suns fan Randy, in the building today, man. And boy, the Suns versus the Rockets, man. So it was a little bit closer than it needed to be up until the fourth quarter where we really pulled away. So, you know what I'm saying? I'll dive into the game. And you know what? It was a good team effort today. It was some pros and some cons. I'm going to go ahead and get to the pros first. Number one, it was just a team effort all around. Like everybody, all the starters contributed, all the starters played a role. They did their thing today. It's a couple little nitpicks I got that I'll get into a little bit later on. But first and foremost, the player of the game stepped up and you know what I'm saying? Millie was asking in the chat the other day where he been at. Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig finished with 21 and 14. You know what I mean? Like, I always call him on time. Because you know what I'm saying? He might not be there when you want him. But that boy always on time. And he was definitely on time tonight with 21 and 14, 8 of 8 shooting, didn't miss a shot. And the thing that I loved about it the most was that TC didn't try to be Jay Crowder, even though he was starting in Jay Crowder's spot. He didn't be like, all right, like, I need to throw up a bunch of threes and try to like just imitate Jay Crowder. He went out there and played his game. He crashed the boards. He was getting tips. He was hitting open shots. You know what I'm saying? He was doing all the little stuff that we need and what we fell in love with him for. You know what I'm saying? And he did that to the T tonight. And you know what I'm saying? Even though Book finished with 36, I got to give the player of the game to TC because he kind of kept us in the game. He kind of kept us like, you know what I'm saying, afloat, especially when it was looking real rocky and it was making a run back into the game. And he kind of kept us afloat. And shout out to Book with 36 points, 15 to 24 shooting. And my only thing with Book that I got nitpick, well, I appreciate how he closed the game. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? He ripped off what I think it was like 7 or 9 or 8 straight points, like at the end of the game, just to close, just to put the. And that's what I want to see when I'm talking about just ripping off points, just to you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. So he had 2 back-to-back threes. I think he had a midi before that. So that's what I like to see out of Book finish. But my only critique is I don't know if he's getting ready for the playoffs or whatever the case may be, or like he trying to prep his game. But he's been taking a lot of like pull up jumper threes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's typically not him. Like I was thinking like maybe he was injured because he did that a lot in what game 3 against Milwaukee or game 4 when he was hurt. He just was just launching threes like for no reason. And I feel like I don't know if he's working on it for the playoffs or whatever the case may be. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's just my only little nitpick. But his three was falling all right tonight. You know what I'm saying? And one thing, one negative and like weird positive tonight was DA. Like DA tonight in that first half was the most frustrated I seen DA like on the court visibly. You know what I'm saying? Like he was disengaged, he was getting out of the plays, he was wiping his hand like I don't care about what y'all doing, like y'all not giving me the ball. And yes, I do think that he was open on a lot of plays and they missed him and they still have to figure out how to feed him the ball in the post. Like campaign, you can't just drive in the lane, jump up in the air and then try to feed it to him. Like they reading that. You got to be able. And then like I seen they got more frustrated when they was running the pick and roll, and then they fed it to Bam or not Bam. They fed it to Biz, and they gave him the ball in the roll, but they wouldn't give Da the ball in the roll. So he was definitely like disengaged and getting upset and irritated. And in that second half, I don't know, like he went into the locker room mad. If you go back and play it and watch it, like he was like, "Man, I'm not messing with this. Like y'all not giving me the rock." And I don't know if it was somebody that showed him his stats in the sense of like he was complaining that he wasn't getting the rock and like they showed him stat like, look, dog, you 6 of 14, like with the second most shots on the team. Like, what are you talking about? Like, only Book or like you and Book are tied for the most shots in the game. You know what I'm saying? And you shot 14 of them. So what are you talking about? You need the ball. Everybody else shot like maybe up to 6 times at that point in time in the game. So maybe they showed him that and was just like, all right, like maybe I am tweaking or whatever the case may be. But you know what I'm saying? But I do think that he had a point though, like in his like pouting and all that other stuff. Like I do think that they missed him a lot. And I know it's easy to kind of jump on top of DeAndre Ayton whenever he played bad or whatever, or just be like, oh man, you need to get him more involved. But like now that I'm really stepping back and looking at it, like they really take him out the offense in the sense of they don't give him the rock. They kind of like go away from him. And like the only way that they kind of like only way he can kind of get his buckets is like little tips or little deflection passes that don't get where they're supposed to go, and then he got to pick it up. So Mont definitely got to like address that and be like, look, man, like we got to be able to get him to rock. If he has 1 foot in the paint, like they should figure out a way to get him to rock because at this point it's almost getting automatic. So it's like let's at least you know what I'm saying. Let's at least try. But he finished with 23 and 11, so I'm not too mad about it. But you know what I'm saying, campaign. And another thing too, like my other critique is that like with this team, I understand like we have trouble when we play like bad team or bottom feeders or whatever the case may be, and it's just like playing their game. Like we came out, we played our game, was blowing them out the water, and then it's kind of easy to like be up by a lot and then start settling for threes. You know what I'm saying? Like every single time down, everybody's settling for threes, and that's what they want us to do. That's what they want to turn it into a 3-point shootout, and all we do is we don't go through any options or any reads, we just go down and hoist up the three, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, or we're looking for threes every time down. So it's like that's what they want us to do. So if we play into their hands, what happened? They come back. They, you know what I'm saying, they do what they do. And that's what I'm saying. That was my biggest critique. And I feel like it's up to campaign or the starting point guard or whoever it is to kind of set the pace and control the pace and be like, look, this is what we're not about to do. We're not about to go back and forth, up and down, and just launch up threes. Let's slow it down. Let's play our game. Let's run our offense. Let's get good looks, opposed to like, all right, they're throwing up a bunch of threes, and on top of that, we're blowing them out. So let's just throw up a bunch of threes and try to, you know what I'm saying, match their energy. So that's definitely not the way to go. Shout out to Mikhail Bridges, you know what I'm saying, with 26 points tonight, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like he's coming into his own. I feel like, and it was, I would say, like I feel like Mikhail, he should kind of look like, yes, his stuff was falling, but I feel like he had DA on a couple looks where it's just like you could have dumped that off or whatever the case may be, but I feel like that's just like a team thing they need to sit down and watch film about and try to like analyze that going forward. Javel Mcgee had that monster dunk in there, man. You seen that? He had that. Hey, man, he didn't do a lot today, but he did that. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Landy Shamit, per usual, 7 points, 2 for 7. Like it just is what it is at this point, man. But till next time, man. We only need 5 more wins, baby. 5 more wins to lock up that first seed. So you know what I'm saying? Till next time. Peace.